Winnsboro ISD will keep searching for a new superintendent as the district superintendent remains on paid leave after being arrested earlier this month. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Aaron Nation is charged with failure to report child abuse with intent to conceal. Now you also see Winnsboro ISD's former superintendent here on your screen, Brian Wilcox. Wilcox is also charged with failure to report child abuse with intent to conceal. Today the district held a special meeting to talk about Nation's replacement. As our Alex Weister reports, the district also didn't make a decision on a potential settlement for a 2024 lawsuit filed by the family of a former student.
Not addressed today. We're not going to name a new interim superintendent of schools, so we'll move to 5C.
Former Superintendent Brian Wilcox along with the Superintendent Aaron Nation were arrested on January 12th. According to arrest affidavits, Wilcox and Nation failed to report two separate sex crimes by district employees. Tonight, Nation is still being paid. Brandon Green, the president of the Winnsboro ISD School Board, says Nation is on paid leave because he has not been indicted. Some people in Winnsboro say that should not be the case.
Having to pay 3 superintendent salaries, 2 of which have been arrested, is not handling the taxpayer money correctly. I am calling on you to terminate the contracts and stop payment to Mr. Wilcox and Mr. Nation.
Dr. Cody Holloway is serving as the acting superintendent. In the meantime, residents are asking for the board to look outside of the district for Nation's replacement.
Someone from outside of this town who can come in here and bring this community back together. Someone who can sit across the table with a straight look and hold others accountable. We need a father figure, not a buddy or another good old boy.
A lawsuit filed by a Winnsboro family in 2024 also remains pending. The lawsuit claims the district ignored reports of abuse against their child from 2 other students. The lawsuit also claims the district retaliated against the family by suspending the mother, who was a teacher in the district, banning the father from the campus, and filing a false complaint with his employer. The board discussed the lawsuit in closed session, the school board president saying this after.
Just on behalf of the board, I'll say this. As far as at this time, no settlement's been reached. Therefore, there's currently nothing to be disclosed to the public.
Residents at the meeting want transparency from the district.
So come on, tell us what the amount's going to be. Show some character and let us know what these sins have cost the taxpayers.
Alex Weister, East Texas News Weekend.
The next board meeting is scheduled for February 16th. The board says there's potential for a special meeting to be called between then and now.